Hi, this is Janice from Space to Relax, and the video you're about to watch is a replay of a live class I taught on Zoom. These classes are free of charge for everyone to join, so please invite your family and friends. They're suitable for beginners and those of you with more Qigong experience. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. I hope you enjoy the class. Hi everyone, and welcome to the class today. And today's class is all about how to use Qigong to relieve pain, stiffness and tension when you're driving. So as many of us know, that can be such a common problem for us. You can get very tired and feel very kind of stiff and achy at the end of a long journey, or even at the end of a short journey, depending on your posture in your car. And so this today is all about how we can help to minimize those effects, those uncomfortable effects, and also help you to feel less tired as the result of a long journey. So what I would also say is that you can use these postures and these exercises if you're on a long journey of any kind. So whether you're traveling by train, if you're on an aeroplane, you can use that. You can use them as well. And so this might be very helpful for you if you're traveling on a long journey. So by the end of this class, you will know how to set up your car seat so that it is the most comfortable position for you, and also so that you have the best posture when you're actually sitting in the car seat. And then also what I'm going to show you are some exercises in order to help relieve any kind of tension or stiffness if you happen to be, say, sitting in a traffic jam or at traffic lights where you actually have a little bit of time to maybe take your hands off the steering wheel and do a few little kind of movements that can help you along the way. Okay, so you will need a chair for this practice, or if you just want to watch along, that's fine, and then practice with a chair later on. So you're very welcome to the class today, everyone. And in today's class, I'm going to show you how you can use Qigong posture and a few Qigong exercises in order to help you when you're driving in your car. Often when we're driving in the car, we feel a little bit tense, we can feel a little bit stiff. So we're going to, first of all, look at how to set up your car seat, look at the correct posture as well, and then move on to some small exercises that you can do if you happen to be stationary in the car. So first of all, I'm just going to stand up and show you. This is my imaginary car seat. Now, obviously, a car seat doesn't look like this, but what you'll often notice when you look at your car seat is that there's a kind of a hollow in the center, which your back for your butt and then your back sinks into. And when you're in that sunken position, you don't actually have the best posture for the qi to flow freely through your back, through your hips, and then down into your legs. So we often find that we have kind of achy hips, achy lower back, and possibly even kind of sciatic pain running down the legs, very heavy, stiff legs when we get out of the car. So some of that, the reason for some of that can be that you've got this hollow in the chair or in the seat, and also that you don't have sufficient back support. So what I would do is, when you get the chance, have a look at your own car and see what's going on there, okay? So if you find that you have some kind of a hollow, what a lot of people do is they use a cushion to fill up the hollow, or some people use a circular kind of ring to sit on, and that can give a lot of relief. Just depending, you just need to find something that will fill that gap so that you're looking at something that's fairly straight across, that's going to give you good support. So if I sit onto that now, okay, and what you want to do when you sit in the car, what you want to do is you want to make sure that using your feet, kind of push your feet back and make sure that this part, your lower spine, your sacral area and your butt are right up against the back of the seat. And then what you find is as you kind of lean into the seat, you see my chair is rubbish because I'm kind of leaning back already. So this is creating not a great posture in terms of Qigong. What we want to do is we want a straight line really from the hip, vertically up through the shoulders and then up through the back of the head. So this is not our vertical line. So what you can do is if your car has really good lumbar support, you can fiddle around and adjust that and see how that feels. But often lumbar support is in completely the wrong place for many people, depending on your height. And if you're driving a really big car and you're a woman, then usually those cars are kind of measured out for men's dimensions, so they don't fit for women. So you might need to not use the lumbar support at all and get your own. So just to decide where and what size of lumbar support you might need before you go and buy something specifically for that, you might want to just use a towel or a blanket. So a rolled up towel or a blanket is perfect to just pop in to your lower back area, and you can move that then up and down. Now, some of the lumbar supports that you can buy, they have an elastic strap that comes around the back of the chair, and then it doesn't move around. But just while you're trying to decide, what kind of size and what kind of height you want your lumbar support at, you might want to work with that. So you can see already now, even in this not very good chair that I'm using, you can see I'm a lot more upright. Okay. So in this position now, you want to make sure that your car seat is the right distance away from the pedals. So when you are working that out, what you want to do is press down on the pedals with your feet, press all the way down. And when you're pressing down, you want to make sure that when you're fully pressed down on the pedals, there's a slight bend in your knees. You shouldn't be overextended, and your knees shouldn't be there shouldn't be too much of an angle. So you need to adjust the distance of your seat away from the steering wheel and the pedals. The other thing is a lot of seats have a little arm or a rest, a lever that you can use to adjust the height of the seat up and down. So you see, for me here, I'm just maybe it's okay. I can just kind of get my heels comfortably on the floor, but you want to be able to do that when you're just resting like this. Now, if you find that your heels are off the floor like this, you want to lower the seat. If you find that your heels, your knees are too kind of almost scrunched up and your legs are too long, you want to lift the seat up. So do have a play around with that, because it's really important to set up your seats correctly before you drive anywhere. And I'll put a link in the replay next to this video when I send it out. There's a YouTube video that shows you how to set up your car seat. It's really good. So have a look at that and see if you can adjust your car seat to fit your body. So that's adjusting the seat, first of all. The second thing then is you want to have a really nice Qigong sitting posture. Now remember, with any of our postures, sitting, standing or lying down, we want to ensure that we're creating that free flow, or that opportunity for the free flow of qi throughout the body. So we don't want things to be scrunched and constricted. We want things to be open and relaxed so that the qi and the blood and the fluid can flow freely throughout your body and nourish all of the muscles and all of the organs that it needs to. And when things are really well nourished, they tend not to feel so stiff and achy and tired. So that's the whole idea behind this. So if we start kind of with the making sure that the butt and the lower back are right back up against the back of the chair or the seat. And then also you want to make sure that the whole of your back is in contact with the seat. So a car seat would generally come up to just around the shoulders here. So all the way up the back should be in contact with the seat. And then we have the headrest, which is kind of up here at ear kind of level. You want to make sure then that when you're looking straight ahead, the back of your head, the very back of your head is in contact with that headrest all the time. Now, if it comes forward, this is the classic position for driving, isn't it? This is how people drive. And this is what creates all of this kind of compression in the neck area. This hunched over shoulder position creates lots of tension here in the shoulders, in the upper back area. And also leaning forward like this compresses the abdominal organs. So everything's kind of squashed digestive wise. So that's not good either. And you're creating a little bit more strain on the lower back area. So all of this head forward position, shoulders forward, is corrected very easily by just making sure that your back is in contact with the whole of the seat and you've got the back of your head in contact with the headrest. Then when you have your hands on the steering wheel, make sure there's a little bend in the elbows. You don't want to be reaching out too far, and also you don't want to be too kind of squashed in, because again, that creates a lot of tension in the shoulders. And a lot of cars now obviously have adjustments for the steering wheel as well. You can adjust the height of the steering wheel and the distance in and out of the steering wheel as well. So do have a look at that in your car. But the very, very most important point about your sitting posture when you're driving is to tuck the chin back towards the throat. Now, those of you that have done Qigong with me before know that that is the classic position for the head and neck anyway, when you're in a standing or in a sitting position. So when I say tuck the chin back towards the throat, I mean to do it like this. So this is your forward head position. This is the chin tucking back towards the throat. So you see how the chin lowers slightly and comes back in towards the throat, as though it's moving towards the back of the head. So I'll show you again. So like this is the wrong position. It's very difficult for me to do the wrong position. And then the chin moves back towards the throat. You draw the chin in, tuck it in. So you're not dropping the head like this. There's none of this, because then that's causing constriction in the throat. So you're actually just drawing the chin back. So you still have space here between the chin is parallel with the ground. You still have space here between the chin and the chest. So the throat is nice and open. So if you can do this, and you're in this position, here you are driving now, everything is aligned in such a way that the chi can flow openly and freely throughout the whole of your body. Now that in itself, although it's not a movement, it's not an exercise as such, that posture is going to make a huge difference to how you feel when you get out of a car or off a plane after a long journey. So the second most crucial thing, in addition to tucking the chin back towards the throat, is to keep checking your posture. Keep checking that, because you will, I can guarantee it, you will fall out of this posture as you're driving. I do myself, I've been doing this for years, and I still fall out of the posture when I'm concentrating on what I'm doing with the driving. I'm looking at what's going on, and before I know it, I end up like this again. So it's constantly tucking the chin in, sitting up straight, head against the headrest. That's your check. And some people even put a little note just on the dashboard of the car, just say check posture. So every time you look at the note, you know to check the posture. So that might be a tip that works for you. So that is your basic posture. It's a Qigong posture. It's your sitting posture that we would use for many Qigong exercises. And there's absolutely no reason why you can't use this posture when you're driving. It's absolutely safe to do that. You can be paying attention to what's going on the road and just making sure that you're in this lovely alignment. And obviously also practicing your abdominal breathing as well. Abdominal breathing is the most efficient way of breathing, and you can do this much more readily and much more easily if you've got the chin back, tucked back towards the throat, and you're sitting up straight. In contrast to when you have this hunched over posture, where everything is squashed here in the center. How can you really expand into the abdomen when it's all compressed because of your hunched over body position? So bringing everything up, and also just allowing the shoulders to come back, smiling through the collarbones. So that is your Qigong sitting posture for when you're driving, and hopefully that will enable you to feel less tired, less stiff, and less achy. So I'm going to turn my chair around now so you can see a few of the movements that we can practice when you're maybe sitting and you're stationary in a traffic jam. So just bear with me 1 second there. So I'm in my Qigong sitting posture, sitting in my car driving. So hands on the steering wheel, shoulders nice and relaxed, pulled back, and sitting up straight with my chin tucked back towards the throat and the head resting against the back of the headrest, looking straight ahead. So this is my imaginary driving posture. Now, if you find that you're in the situation where you are stopped for whatever reason, so whether you're stuck at traffic lights or in a traffic jam, or you're waiting in a car park, waiting to collect somebody, wherever you are stationary, these next movements will be really interesting ones for you to practice in order to help relieve any tension that you might be feeling in the back, the shoulders, the neck area, or even down through and into the legs. Do not perform these exercises when you are actually moving in the car. Please don't do that. If you're a passenger in the car, that's fine. But if you're driving, please do not perform these exercises. Wait until you're stationary, and you'll see why as we go through them. Okay, so we're going to start with the head and the neck. Okay, so very simply, you have your head back against the headrest here. You're stationary, you're waiting in some traffic lights or whatever. So just begin for a moment, maybe just close your eyes and breathing in and out through the nose for 3 abdominal breaths. So because you're stationary, you don't need to have the hands on the steering wheel. You can have them just relaxed on your legs, either palms facing down or palms facing up. And starting with the head and the neck now, take a breath in and drop the chin down towards the chest, feeling a lovely stretch down the back of the neck as you exhale. And then breathe in back to the center. And breathe out, drop the head down. Breathing in and out through the nose. Breathe in back to the center. And breathe out one more time. Breathe into the center. Now, keeping the chin parallel with the floor, turn to look to one side, just as far as your head and neck will easily allow you to rotate. Breathing in, come back to the center and breathe out, going across to the other side. Ideally, making this movement soft and smooth, very fluid. Breathing into the center and twice more to each side. And feeling the stretch down the neck, the side of the neck on the opposite side to where you're turning. Really easing out any tension in the sides of the neck, all the way down into the top of that opposite arm. Breathing out to look to the side, breathing into the center. And now tilt the ear just on towards the shoulder on one side as you breathe out, just allowing the head to drop down under its own weight. So no forcing, and again, feeling a stretch down the opposite side. Breathe into the center and tilt to the other side. So as you tilt, your head is still in contact with the back of your headrest. So you're not allowing the head to come forward like this. Come back to the center and twice more to each side. So everything stays upright. You're just moving through that sideways plane of movement. And back to the center. And now working with the shoulders. Pick the shoulders up and breathe out as they come forwards and down. So rolling the shoulders. Keeping the arms very relaxed, forward circles. So breathing in as the shoulders come up and back, and then breathing out as they come forwards and down. Twice more. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now change direction. Come forwards, breathing in, and then back, really retracting, pulling the heads of the arm bones back, breathing out and down. Breathing in and out through the nose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now again, checking that your head is upright, in contact with your headrest. And then bringing the arms together in front of your face. Now, if you're in a car where the steering wheel is very close to you, you might need to kind of go up a little bit more with the arms, just move them away from your steering wheel. So palms are facing, touching each other, and moving the palms of the hands away from the face and up very slightly. So they're just above forehead level. Take a breath in And as you breathe out through the nose, bring the elbows to meet each other and feel that lovely stretch along the tops of the shoulders. Breathe in and release. Breathe out. Elbows come together. Breathe in. Breathe out. So the palms stay together all the time. Breathe in. 2 more. Breathe out. Feel that broadening across the space between the shoulder blades and the back of the body. And then allowing the arms just to drop down by your sides. Give the shoulders a little shake out. Moving around a little bit in the shoulders. Whatever you need to do. Coming back to your sitting position. So head, neck and shoulders obviously is an area that becomes very tense when or can become very tense when we're driving. But also people, because you're at right angles here between the torso and the thighs, you can often have a lot of chi stagnation here in the hip area, lower back area as well. So just to help relieve a little bit of that, all I'd like you to do now is just move around from one side to the other. So move from one sit bone to the other, and even maybe try and do little hip circles. Your body's still in contact with the chair, so maybe circling in one direction, really just going with the flow, letting the shoulders and the back move as well. Again, trying to stay upright as much as you can, and then change the direction, go the other way. So just moving from one sit bone to the other. And what I get here when I do this is I get a lovely kind of sensation of release in the waist area, in the kind of hip area around here, and then going down into the lower back and the sacral area. So if you have any issues with lower back or hips, just go very easily with this, feel very gently into it. Don't do yourself any damage, obviously. That's not the aim. So just be very kind of easy with this and listen to your body as you do it. But keep it nice and fluid and smooth. Breathing normally into your belly, in and out through the nose. And then just relaxing. Okay, and then following on down now into the legs. Again, just with maybe with your hands resting down, palms down onto the thighs, just picking up one leg and dropping it. Picking up one leg and dropping it. And just alternating with the legs. And when you do this, feeling into where the top of the femur is inserting into the pelvis, into the hips. So feeling into the joints. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and just feeling into this. Breathing out as you lift the leg, breathing in as the leg comes back down. The mind is in the hip joint. And just going at whatever pace is comfortable for you to match your breathing with the lifting and the lowering of the legs. Keeping the chin tucked back towards the throat. Your head is upright, not allowing the body to fall forwards as you do this. That's often the temptation as we are lifting our very heavy thigh bones. So this is really strengthening for your core as well. You need to engage the core in order to be able to lift the legs in this way. And then coming back to rest. And then one ankle at a time, we're going to do some ankle circles just to relieve any tension that you might feel there. And that's often a very common issue, especially for people who don't drive very often, or someone who's maybe just a newly qualified driver who's not used to driving. The pressure of our feet on the pedals and just that action of the kind of lever of the feet, moving forwards and backwards, can cause a lot of tension in the ankle joints. So just lifting the foot and placing the ball of the foot on the floor, and then just very gently circling in one direction using your abdominal breath, just breathing freely with this. You don't need to combine the circling with the breath, but nice and slowly. So feeling into the whole range of the ankle joint, making that circle as large as you can, but still keeping the ball of the foot in contact with the floor. And then change the direction, keeping your body upright as you do it. So you're still in your driving position. And then to the other side. And you'll probably find it much easier to circle on one side and in one direction than the other. A bit like the left-handed, right-handed thing. And then change the direction of the circles. And relax the feet. And then the last thing you can do in terms of movement is, this is for if you're feeling really tired when you're driving and you need to pull over and you need to have a rest because you're in danger of falling asleep at the wheel. And I think we've probably all experienced that at some time in our lives. And it's so important to make sure that you're not too tired when you're driving, for safety reasons, obviously. So for this little exercise, all we're going to do is going to work with the fingertips, and we're just going to do some tapping around the head, around the forehead, closing the eyes. Gently, gently tapping around the forehead, on the top of the skull, round the sides to the temples, very gently, not too hard on the temples now, around behind the ears, back of the head, back of the neck. And you may want to come in the back of the neck area, you may want to just give the back of the neck a little bit of a rub with the thumbs, just whatever feels really good to you. But quite vigorously to create a little bit of heat in the scalp area. That will bring or help bring more chi and blood into the area to nourish the area. We're trying to kind of wake everything up, so even maybe a few circles. Come back to some tapping, maybe around the front of the face, very gently around the whole of the orbit of the eyes. You can also rub up and down the nose with the fingers. Tapping on the cheekbones, around to the jaw, along the jawline, onto the chin, and then just underneath the nose. There's a couple of lovely acupuncture points, one here, just on the chin, in the center line, and one just above the top lip here, again on the center line. Really nice enlivening points if you just want to use the index finger for that. And then bringing the hands together, giving them a rub until they get really, really hot. And placing the palms over your eyes, fingers facing up towards the sky or the ceiling. And giving yourself a little face wash. Again, to enliven the whole of the face. Stopping you feeling so tired. Really just helping to wake you up, put a little pep in your step so that once you've had a break from your driving, you can get back on the road again. So I hope you enjoyed the class today. It was a little bit different. It wasn't really a Qigong routine as such, but I thought it would be really helpful to give you a few tips as to what to do when you're driving in terms of Qigong practice, because the whole idea with Qigong is that you can practice it 24 hours a day. So there's always something you can be doing to make yourself feel better, no matter where you are or what your situation. And driving obviously is such a common thing that many people do. We spend a lot of time in our cars, for many of us. And we also find that our cars are the cause of a lot of tension, a lot of muscle stress, a lot of tiredness in our bodies, but also in our minds. So I hope that gave you a few ideas as to what you can be doing to help relieve all of that and help you to feel much more awake, and so that when you do get out of your car at the end of the long journey, you're not kind of staggering, trying to stagger out the door and straighten up your back and hobble along for a few meters before you can kind of get yourself going again. And so I do hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, as always, send me an email, janice@spacetorelax.com, and you can also leave a comment in our Facebook group if you have a question. That's Space to Relax Free Qigong group. As always, these classes are free of charge, but if you would like to donate, 50% of the proceeds go to the nurses in the intensive care units here in my local hospital. The other 50% goes towards the upkeep of the website. So when I send out the replay for this video, or if you're watching this video on YouTube, you'll find the link to donate next to the video. And if you want to invite friends or family to join these free classes, they're suitable for anyone, beginners or people with more Qigong experience. So please send them the link to sign up to join the classes, and the more the merrier. Thanks so much, everyone. If you enjoyed this Qigong lesson, then there are 4 things you can do right now. The first thing is to head over to my website, which is spacetorelax.com, and there you'll see that you can join up for a free 3-part video series. The second thing you can do is click the link next to this video to sign up for the live Qigong classes, as I teach these once a week. The third thing you can do is go over to Facebook if you're on Facebook and look for Space to Relax Free Qigong group. That's my free group where you can post any questions, and please do join the group. And the fourth thing is, if you're watching this video on YouTube, then please hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson and look forward to seeing you in the next video.